Hi, welcome to Sonder Sisterhood. I'm Carrie, and this is a YouTube channel for the single and childless, not by choice person. The video today is tips for driving long distances with your dog. Some of you may know that Gavin and I, who is my Great Dane, we recently drove to Florida and back, which was 27 hours each way. And along that trip, I learned some tips and tricks that can make traveling a little bit easier with your pup. Number one, bring food in individual storage containers, especially if you're going to be staying overnight in a hotel somewhere. This I found really helpful versus lugging in a big bag. Also, it was a situation where I had the container and I could just set it down and then pick it back up when we were done. Now, I don't know if your dog is like my dog, but when he's in a strange place, he will sometimes tip over his food, or if his food is in something different. I just worked through that and worked around that, but I definitely brought food in individual containers so then I could just pull one out of the bag each time we stopped. The other thing that I did do when we were in the hotel is I laid a towel down and then put it on top of that, just because, again, my dog in particular, in a strange place, things like that, he was tipping it over a bit. P.S. If you have any tips on how to stop that, let me know, because he will do that at home sometimes too. Mostly, I think, when he's irritated with me. But if you know what that might be about, let me know. The second tip I have is give yourself and allocate some extra time for the driving each day. For example, if you're gonna go from point A to point B on one day and it's 8 hours of driving time, add in some extra time for stops, just so he can walk around or go to the bathroom, things like that. That's one of the things that I made sure to do. It kept him kind of less restless in the car. And, you know, when you are letting them out in a strange place, all the smells and things like that is mentally taxing for them. And so they do expend some energy, particularly for us. When it was 3 days of this, I wanted to make sure that he was able to get time in to walk around, sniff. Some places even have dog parks. I know that some truckers and things like that now bring their dogs, and so some of those larger truck stops also have dog parks that they can, they're not very big, but it's enough for them to kind of wander around and things like that. One thing I do want to say related to stopping is be careful if you're by yourself. Obviously, you know, you want to be safe. You want to make sure that you're stopping somewhere where it's not maybe you and one other person, stranger there. Think about that before you do stop. Always maintain safety. And then, of course, doing that in the daylight would be a tip that I would have too. Remember to make sure that they're drinking water. Because you're completely out of your routine and you're in your car for such a long period of time, it can be difficult and tricky to remember, oh yeah, the dog needs water in the back, right? So what we did is when we stopped at rest areas, we had him drink some water. When we stopped to get something to drink or eat, I always ask them, hey, can I have a cup of water for my dog as well? Again, it just, when you start to take care of yourself and nourish yourself, make sure you got a pup in the back who also needs that as well. If you need a hotel room, because your road trip is so long that you're going to be staying overnight, one of the things that I did is I identified where I was going to stop prior to even leaving on the road trip, because I wanted to make sure that I was choosing a hotel that took dogs. Now for me, I have a Great Dane, so I have to also make sure that not only do they take dogs, but they take dogs over a certain weight. A lot of places will take dogs, but not over a certain amount of pounds. And my dog is over that weight limit. So what I did is I got on some Google forums, figured out which hotels allow Great Danes, and then kind of worked backwards from there. If you have a large dog or you have a Great Dane, La Quinta Inn does accept Great Danes. You do have to let them know that your dog is a Great Dane. Sometimes, even when you call the hotel, it's like a call center, and so they'll say, sorry, we don't accept dogs over that amount. And then I usually just gently say, you know, my understanding is there's an exception for Great Danes, and I've stayed at this hotel before, or I've stayed at other La Quintas and they allow it. Would you mind just checking with the manager of the hotel? And I've never had a problem after they've checked with the manager of the hotel. Okay, the next tip that I have is much as it's fun, it's cute, and it might bring you joy, stay away from things like pup cups or unusual treats along the road trip, because you don't want to have a dog with an upset tummy. You particularly don't want to have a Great Dane with an upset tummy on a 3-day road trip. So remember, try and stay away from pup cups or any type of treat that is more likely to upset your dog's tummy. One of the things that I did, if I thought, oh, I want him to have a treat, we just did some like boiled chicken because that's a big treat for him, but it's not going to upset his tummy. This is a big change in routine for a dog, particularly in my case, it was 3 days. So I wanted to make sure that it was kind of as normal as possible in terms of his food and eating, because I figured he's probably a little stressed because of the big change that we're dealing with right now. All right, the last one is have fun and take pictures. What a wonderful memory that you're building, a lot of bonding time, and it can feel exciting and lots of opportunity to just have some really good quality time with your pup. So take those pictures. I really enjoyed like the videos and things like that, particularly when we were driving back home, being able to take pictures of him in front of the Welcome to Colorado sign, things like that. Again, just try and relax around it. You know, follow these tips, but also recognize that this is a great way to build some memories with your pup and get some really good pictures around it too. So let me know what tips you have for traveling with a pet long distances. And I hope that you are able to have some wonderful adventures with your bestie. Subscribe to Saunders Sisterhood for more videos for the single and childless, not by choice person.